Hello, hello. Happy Friday. You made it. We all made it. To the employed or to some of the employed, welcome to your weekend. To the unemployed like myself. We're going to keep pushing, huh? Okay, good. No, there's a lot to talk about this Friday. And, I want to end the day on a great note, but there are some annoying things I have to cover. I have to cover because we got to pay attention to this administration because it's a hot ass mess. In America, we're going into day 10 of the government shutdown. And to me, everything just doesn't add up. Literally, on Wednesday, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Republican, closed the House hours after Congress received Epstein's financial records. Yes, and probably a lot of you didn't know that. I just found that out and it's Friday. So the Speaker, Mike Johnson, abruptly closed the House, stalling the congressional investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation once again. Whatever is in the Epstein files really has these people shook. To me, it's really bad. From what we know, just as like the public, it's already horrendous. But the fact that they're closing down the whole congressional house, the whole House of Congress, as soon as he received the financial records, means that someone or a group of people that we know very well are in those files more than ever. And what have we learned altogether? That when money's involved, it's never good, never good. It can mean criminal activity. It could mean wiring some sketchy people some stuff, doing things that they should never be doing, like what they could possibly be doing in the Epstein files. Yeah, we need to know. We need to know. And another thing I just want to point out, I hope you guys are making sense. There's just so much information here. Another thing that I want to point out is over in Arizona, the people, okay, so the Arizona people, citizens, American citizens, voted in a Democratic member of Congress. There's a new representative that needs to be sworn in. However, the Republicans and Mike Johnson will not swear her in because Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna, who are representatives who are leading the charge for Epstein, especially Thomas Massie, he confirmed that once this Democratic representative is sworn in, they will have 218 votes to release the Epstein files. So they got the votes, but the House is in recess. Mike Johnson just did that on Wednesday, and he refuses to swear in this Democratic representative. But here's the kicker. This is where it gets even worse. The other day, this week, in October, we're in October 2025, the government shutdown has been going on for almost 10 days. Within that 10 days, Mike Johnson and the Trump administration swore in 107 Republican representatives to the Trump administration. So 107 new members to the Trump administration, which is so crazy. And one of those people, you'll never guess who. Have you heard the name Herschel Walker? Yeah, the ex-NFL football player from the 80s. He used to play for the Cowboys, the Eagles, I think even the Giants, the Vikings. He was quite well known in the 80s. And also, some of you, maybe younger people like myself, may remember him from the 2022 Georgia Senate race. He tried to run and failed. Well, you'll never guess what, he was appointed into Trump's cabinet. He is now the ambassador to the Bahamas. He is an official U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas. This guy, Herschel Walker. And he was sworn in this week during the government shutdown, when no federal worker or military personnel is getting their checks. We've lost funding for healthcare. There's no education. ICE is snatching moms out of the pickup line for school. But yet Mike Johnson can swear in 107 Trump administration officials. Tell me the corruption isn't there. And for context, a bit more about Herschel Walker's character, he has been known to be allegedly a pathological liar. And he has horrific allegations against him, such as domestic violence with his ex-wife, which actually he never denied. And the court at the time in 2005 put a protective order against him. And during his Senate race, he was very critical about Black men being absentee fathers. Well, guess what? He allegedly has 3 children he has not publicly claimed. In addition, his son, Christian Walker, came out scathing against him during his Senate race, saying he's a horrible father, an absentee father, was never around, and he threatened to kill him and his mother on multiple occasions. Oh, and just going back to his ex-wife, his mother Cindy, who's also Christian Walker's mom, she alleges that Herschel held a gun to her head during many occasions and arguments. This is the type of guy he is. But then again, look at everybody around the Trump administration. Are we surprised? No. But are we like, what the heck does he know about the Bahamas? Because I try to figure out what's his tie to Bahamas. There's nothing about his heritage. And the last time he went to the Bahamas was in 2022 during his Senate race. I'm curious why he went during his Senate race. But I also can't find any evidence of him being in the Bahamas prior. So I'm like, does he know how to spell the Bahamas? I don't know. I don't know. So that's where we're at. And the government's still shut down. Our politicians are still getting paid, just so you know. All right, well, there's that. Okay, next, I just want to briefly touch on this war zone that's allegedly happening in Chicago and Portland, which is an absolute lie. You all know that, right? Yeah, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. And when I think of a war zone, I'm thinking overseas, like in Iraq or Afghanistan. I don't think of what's going on in Chicago. There's nothing going on. Now, you all know, because we're all educated on this mess, that there's violence in cities, period. Yes, and maybe we could dig deep into the drug violence, think about the Reagan era and stuff like that. But there's violence in every single city, period. There always will be in the United States of America. As long as we have guns, as long as we have just hate rhetoric, we're always going to have violence. But it's not a war zone. There's no bombs, there's no grenades, there's nothing. What are you talking about? This is ridiculous. It's a distraction. It's a distraction and it's not working because a lot of the governors are stepping the hell up. And you know what? Listen, the Democrats are finally getting a backbone. And y'all know I am hard on the do nothing Democrats. Well, some of them are starting to do something. So not everyone's do nothing. We're getting a few do something Democrats. They're starting to step up a little bit. And I have to say, as much as I attacked them for AIPAC, Hakeem Jeffries, I forget he's from Brooklyn. Yeah, I forget they're from New York because New Yorkers don't play. And that's probably why Trump has not invaded New York yet, because I could imagine just everyone going insane over there. They would not allow it to happen. And Hakeem Jeffries, don't get used to hearing this often, but I'm really proud of how you're handling this because he's starting to fight fire with fire, which unfortunately, due to the times we live in now, that's what you got to do. And we're seeing this now, this momentum across the Democratic Party. AOC, she's always been very critical and she's always talked back, but I felt like she's never really stooped too low or low. I always expected her to go a bit lower, if that makes sense. And I mean that with all respect because I go as low as can be. Well, she's starting to, and she's starting to go for the right people like Stephen Miller. And Stephen Miller is the White House chief of staff. And he, in my opinion, is the worst of the worst. I think he's the most dangerous. And a part of me feels like he's pulling the strings. And when I say that I mean he is an actual fascist. He really is. He's recited Nazi speeches from Nazi generals before. And that's who he is. He is literally like pro-white. We need to make this country as white as possible. This guy, to me, he's very, very dangerous. And maybe I'll do a deep dive into Stephen Miller. I'll do it when I deep dive into the Insurrection Act, which I think we should all be very up to date on. So just putting that out to kind of keep an eye on that. So sometimes you got to go low because Stephen Miller wasn't happy with AOC's short people comment. She called him 4'9" because that's this administration. They are very materialistic and they're very self-centered. If you start attacking their physical attributes, they get very triggered versus like actually putting out good policy. Do you know what I mean? That is this administration. Okay, real quick, I want to switch gears here and I want to talk about sports because I want to talk about LeBron getting sued. So, for those of you who don't know what the heck is going on, Over the last couple months, LeBron James on his social media, he's been kind of teasing that there's a huge announcement coming. And, he's 41, I believe now. He's played basketball for 23 years. It's natural that he's coming up to his retirement, right? We all kind of suspect it's happening soon. Well, everyone thought this was the announcement. Either he was going to retire or he was going to sign on to one more year and play in like Cleveland where he began, because he's from Cleveland, Ohio. Or I don't think he's from Cleveland, but he's from Ohio. Everyone was waiting, holding their breath, thinking, what's going to happen? Oh no, it ended up being an advertisement for Hennessy. And the fans are pissed because it's like, why waste our time? You were sprinkling little teasers all for Hennessy. Well, a Lakers fan is not having it, and they went ahead and sued his butt. And so in the lawsuit, the fan claims that he was deceived out of hundreds of dollars. He had been eagerly anticipating LeBron James's retirement, believing that the teaser video was for that, rather than an advertisement for his collaboration with the Hennessy brand. The fan asserts that James owes him money for the ticket he paid for, which he believed would allow him to attend one of James's last games. So the fan is adamant that LeBron James owes him money, and he owes him money for the tickets he paid for, which the fan believes would allow him to attend one of James's last games with the Lakers around March 31st. The fan also accused James of fraud, deception, and misrepresentation and is suing him for a total of, are y'all ready for how much he's suing him? This is crazy. He is suing him for $865.66, which is the total of 2 tickets that he purchased. So he's calling LeBron James a fraud, saying there was deception and misrepresentation because of a Hennessy ad. Lakers, just for context, living in LA made me realize Lakers fans don't mess around. They don't play about LeBron either. So I thought that was kind of funny because it's like, imagine being sued by your own fans and then for $800. I could just imagine LeBron. I just know LeBron sitting at his $1 million table like, let's just pay this fee. He should pay it. I think LeBron, what would be great in this situation if LeBron paid $800? Because that's probably how much he makes an hour or a second. You know what I mean? So to confirm, LeBron is still a Laker. He's going into his 23rd year as a Laker. The preseason has kicked off already, but it looks like he's going to be out for a couple of weeks due to a minor injury. So we won't be seeing LeBron play for the first 2 to 3 weeks anyways. And we're anxiously waiting for his announcement, if he even decides to retire. I would actually love, now that he has Luka on his team, I would love for him to stay a couple years. I don't know, because I feel like we're going to see Bronny. I think we're really going to see Bronny come into himself, like into his own shell. So I'm going to try to get some tickets this year, although if it's $800, I'm not going. It's too expensive. Unless we can get a media pass. Hey, if the NBA is listening, you should give the A-Files a media pass, especially to the Lakers. Thank you. Oh, and we'd really love a pass to the WNBA game. So if you can get us a media pass for that too, the way Jazz and I will show up to every game. Okay, the next thing is so random, but I keep hearing about these Labubu thingies, Labubu, those ugly gremlin looking things. I don't even know, what is it? Okay, so I don't even know what it is, and I had to tap into my resources here, and so I contacted the A-Files music and pop culture correspondent, Kyla, who will be coming on the podcast because she literally knows everything pop culture. It's insane. And I said, hi, what's up with these Labubus? I'm seeing them everywhere. What's the hype? They look hideous. They look like little gremlins. And that's no shade to the Labubus. It's not you. It's your designer. Whoever made that. Well, she sent me an amazing summary of what she thinks the Labubu is and why it's popular. So this is what our correspondent says. A Labubu is a collectible designer toy. It looks like a mix between a gremlin and a bunny. And I'm going to try to put up a photo of it. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you look at the screen now, and I'll let you know in post edit, if you don't hear me saying, I'm just kidding, it's not up there, it means I actually figured out how to put it up there in the editing section, in the editing phase. So, yeah, I couldn't figure that out. But, That's what a Labubu looks like. And everyone's going wild for them. Megan the Stallion had like a million of them. Asia Wilson presented her Labubu that she got from a fan at a press conference. The list goes on, people. It's crazy. Well, and also I don't think it looks like a bunny Kyla. Actually, I guess it does with the ears. But it still just looks like, I don't even know. What do y'all think it looks like? Anywho, so they're originally created by Casing Lung and produced by Pop Mart. So it's I believe they're based in Hong Kong, and they have this mischievous, slightly creepy look that makes them stand out from typically the cute collectible items that everyone gets, like Beanie Babies or Barbies, you know? So, oh, I guess actually, oh, now I kind of feel bad for the Labubus because once you start comparing them to like Barbie and stuff, it's like, dang, they do look kind of hideous. So Kyla goes on to tell the A Files an exclusive that the hype comes from how rare and limited they are. Oh, and each drop usually sells out instantly, and people trade them like they're sneakers and Pokemon cards. Oh, that's an interesting comparison. So, you know how, like, back in the day, like maybe our generation, the millennials, or even older, like the sneakerheads, we were sneakerheads, Pokemon, Yu Gi Oh cards. So, their version is the Labubus. Okay. And so every release has a theme, such as like Halloween, etc. So collectors go crazy trying to complete sets. Interesting. What is that? There is, yeah, I guess it would be like Barbies or like dolls, the equivalent, right? Like an American doll. Do people still go crazy for those? What was that one we used to stuff is that American doll? Where you used to like stuff the teddy bears. What's that one? I'm gonna think about it later. Anyways, it was Build-A-Bear. Y'all remember that? She says to kind of think about it like art toy culture meets hype beast type energy. So that's an interesting comparison. Aside from Megan the Stallion and Asia Wilson, who's invested in this? Well, she says influencers, celebrities, fashion brands such as Rihanna, Dua Lipa, Kim Kardashian have started collecting or collaborating with the brand Labubu, I guess. Do you collaborate with like what does like a Labubu collaboration look like? Oh, so she made an interesting point that now Labubus are a part of streetwear. Okay, so if y'all have like a little cousin or like if anybody you know has a Labubu, I don't know, at least you now know what it is. I didn't know really what it was. Thank you, Kyla. We appreciate you. There is one more story that I wanted to cover because guess what? Trump just had to let us know something that just is tempting to not go in on it right now because he said he passed his cognitive test with flying colors like they've never seen before. He said the doctor, they've never seen tests like this before. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm calling bullshit. And this is something that I can't wait to eat up. So I'm going to have it be its own episode, which is going to be the next one when I put it out. And I also want everyone to know I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday going forward to keep things a bit more streamlined. So I'm really excited about that. And anything that drops outside of those days, it's a bonus. So that's exciting. Thank you so much. And oh, wait. Like, follow, subscribe, and hit that bell too so you get notified when my yapping ass drops something. Because I know it's the best podcast you've ever heard. All right, bye.